Ready to work your hands, huh?
You're gonna be in shock. I don't have very many comics.
Me either. Well, I ain't gonna lie.
Where are they?
I went to quite a few things. I don't know if I want to say all the stuff I didn't went to.
Oh, really?
What do you think? You think I should say it? Ready?
Ready? Good evening, everyone. G- Thank you for being here. If anyone in the audience require a headset for Spanish translation, please raise your hands and a device will be provided to you. Buenas tardes a todos. Si alguien en la audiencia requiere algunos audífonos para que se les traduzca en el español, por favor levante su mano y se les va a proveer un dispositivo. ¿Ya? ¿Usted necesita uno? Okay. Yeah. ¿Sí? No? Okay. Welcome to the Pan Spring Unified School District regular meeting at the Board of Education. Today is Tuesday, September 9, 2025. We are so glad you are here with us, whether you are joining us in person or watching along on YouTube. Thank you for being part of this that tonight meeting. And I will now call the meeting to order. Can I get a roll call, please?
Member Cornett?
Here.
Member Irvin?
Here.
Board Clerk Jarrell? Board President Espericueta?
Here.
And Member Girardi is absent today.
Thank you. We move to item 6B, the Pledge of the Allegiance. I will be led by Desert Hot Spring High School Student Board Sarah Sink. Please stand. Item 6C, our mission statement will be read by Board Clerk Girel in English and Spanish.
All members of Palm Springs Unified School District are united in our commitment to equity. We create deep, meaningful learning opportunities, build professionalism, and engage parents and community to ensure all students success for all students. All students graduate with the skills, capacities, and confidence needed to succeed in a rapidly changing world. En español, todos los miembros del Distrito Escolar Unificado de Palm Springs están unidos en nuestro compromiso con la equidad. Creamos oportunidades de aprendizaje profundas y significativas, creamos profesionalismo y involucramos a los padres y a la comunidad para garantizar el éxito de todos los estudiantes. Todos los estudiantes se gradúan con las habilidades, capacidades y confianza necesaria para tener éxito en el mundo en cambio rápido.
Thank you, Claire Girel. Item 6D is the length acknowledgement, and I will read the length acknowledgement. The Palm Springs Unified School District acknowledge the Cahuilla as the original stewards of the lands on which the Palm Springs Unified School District facility now sits. We are grateful to have the opportunity to work with the indigenous people in this place. We pay our respect to the Cahuilla people past, present, and emerging who have been here since time immemorial. Now we move to item 7, report as closed session action. Claire Girel, are there any closed session action to report?
Yes, Board President Espericueta, in closed session, the board took action to authorize the administration to issue a 30-day notice of dismissal to certificated employee number 236465 in accordance with Education Code Section 44934, and directed the superintendent or designee to set out appropriate legal notices. The roll call vote was unanimous by vote.
Thank you, Claire Girel. Item A, approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Move for approval.
Please vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Force. Item 9, board consent item. 9A, approval and meeting minutes for the August 26, 2025 Can I get a motion to approve those minutes, please?
Move for approval.
Second.
Any question? Please vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Item 10 is a special recognition. We will start with item 10A. The governing board wishes to recognize and commend the following Palm Springs Unified School District student for academic excellence. The students are, we went down the, I will mention the student in that. I will start with the student Melissa Gutierrez from Nelly Cosman Middle School. Congratulations. Okay, that one. Congratulations, Melissa. Do we have the principal? Okay, thank you. You would like to say something? Thank you.
I just want to recognize Melissa. She's made an incredible amount of progress just this past year and working really hard on her academics. She improved her GPA significantly, and we're super proud of her. Oh, Melissa,
Melissa.
stay up. We're just going to do this. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. Up next is Scott Gomez from Nelly Cosman Middle School. Let's go, Scott. Congratulations, Scott.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Come on, take do they get a medal?
Yeah, the one, but the other one. Okay, tissue. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to recognize Scott as well here from Nellie Kaufman because Scott was actually new to our school last year. And in addition to just getting involved, jumping 2 feet in, helping with young interpreters, and being just an amazing friend and citizen at Nellie Kaufman. And we're just super proud, and we're glad to have you to be part of our community.
Thank you and congratulations.
So you guys be right here in the middle. So right here, in the middle. I don't create. Everybody look right here. Don't blink. Some of y'all blink. 1, 2, 3.
Good job.
We move to the next item, 10B. The governing board wishes to recognize and commend the following parents for being involved in school site activities and events. I would like to start with Fanny Sandoval. Felicidades. Okay. Okay.
Fanny is a part of everything at Nellie Kaufman, and also she always comes to all kinds of different things too at the district. She has been a part of our ELAC committee for many years, school site council. She has many students that have come through Nellie Kaufman, one current student as well, and so she's just an all-around amazing parent for our community. So thank you, Fanny, for all you do.
You're good?
Yeah,
Yeah? Okay.
I'm good, thank you.
Stay here. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Congratulations. The next parent is Angelina Palmer from Nelly Cosman. Congratulations, Angelina.
Thank you.
Pass, okay.
Angelina is not only a district employee, but a parent at Nellie Kaufman for many years. And so not only has she served on our school site council, but continues to serve on our school site council, a newly elected member. And in addition to that, she's just an all-around person who always jumps in to help support whatever the needs are and help support our students and, of course, her own students as well. So thank you for all you do, Angelina.
Anything that you would like to say? You are good? Okay. Okay. Sí, yo me pongo. And now we move to item 10C. The governing board wishes to recognize and commend the following employees at the month for September 2025. I will start with the classified employee Jessica Zamores from Nelly Cosman. And we have the video. We watch the video from here. Oh, sorry. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We can watch some things over there also. They have another. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I would say the moment to call the second employees is Angelina. No, sorry, the certificated Amber Lerson from Nelly Cosman Middle School.
Thank you, sir.
We are recognizing Amber. Amber is one of our amazing 8th grade language arts teachers. We are recognizing her for her hard work and dedication to really shaping and building our honors program within language arts. She's collaborated greatly with our 7th grade honors teacher, and the two of them together have been able to create peer-to-peer relationships for the students and also expand out to the community. And her passion for working with the animal shelter and helping students connect what they're doing in ELA with this important work in the community is crucial. What inspires me most about Amber is her skill level, her knowledge level of the content, and her ability to take that with her wit and her attention to detail with UDL and really marrying all these things together to give kids the richest language arts experience. Amber, I really appreciate all of the hard work that you put into preparing your students for success. I know it's incredibly important to you and it doesn't go unnoticed, and students have the ability to really grow under your care. Jessica, who is our office specialist in charge of registration. We decided to honor Jessica for a number of reasons. Not only is she one of the first people that our students and families meet as, again, the registrar, she remembers students' families' names, the siblings, everything about each of these families. So anytime we have a question or we're trying to pinpoint someone, she is always our go-to person that knows exactly who each person is. I admired a lot of things about Jessica. I think one of the main things that I want to pinpoint is that she has a knack for Excel, and she is a wizard at making all the reports and isolating all kinds of data. And she does it with such ease and detail and care. And it really is such a problem-solving skill, and she does it without hesitation. Jessica, you are an incredible individual with so many skills and talents, and we are so proud to have you on our team. And it's because of you that we're able to do so many amazing things for our students.
Okay. Yeah, usually we'll ask if you would like to recognize someone from the audience, or you want to say
No,
that?
everything's
Good?
wonderful.
You?
Yes,
You're good?
thank you.
You're okay too. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You see that? I don't think so. Ready?
Finally did that.
And now we move to item 11, public comments. Claire Guerrero, have we received any electronic comments this night?
Board President Espericueta, we have not received any electronic comments.
Thank you. In-person comments. All members are to be directed to the board, be under 3 minutes, and shall be devoid of any personal attacks. Members of the public are expected to maintain a professional, courteous decorum during public comments. Board members do not respond to public comments. Do we have any members of the public who wish to address the Board of Education? See now. We move to item 12. Item 12 is public hearings. The board now open the public hearing on textbooks and instructional material compliance for the fiscal years 2025-2026. Have any comments been received by the district the textbooks and instructional materials compliance for the fiscal year 2025-2026? We don't receive any comment? No. Okay, no. Is there anyone present who wish to provide comments or ATER plan? No? Can see none. And later in the agenda, the board will consider approving the textbooks and instructional material compliance for the fiscal year 2025-2026. Seeing no oral comments, I declare the public hearing closed. Item 13 is the student board member report. The student board member report will be presented by Sarah Singh and Tracy Intin. At first, we have Sarah from Desert Hot Spring High School.
Okay, hello everybody. This is my Desert Hot Springs High School District Board Report for today's meeting on the month of August and September. Up first is my agenda, so I will be going over the general updates, sports, the month of September, and upcoming events. First off, I have my general updates. So students gathered together during our lunchtime activity hosted by our United Student Body, Friday Night Live, and Cheer to sign our banner to pledge against hate speech, creating a positive impact on our campus. KESQ News Channel 3 was present at the activity to get footage of our event and interview student Jose Lopez on his experience with hate speech and what actions we can take to reduce it on our campus. Senior Sunrise. Seniors were up bright and early to gather together at the football field to watch the sunrise while enjoying delicious snacks donated by Desert Bakery, Abuelita's Bakery, Starbucks, and parents who also helped volunteer. Back to school night. Our Golden Eagle Nest was open to parents to see what it's like in their child's daily life at school. Teachers opened their classrooms to show their learning environment that the students have. Moving on to sports updates. Our blue and gold football game. At Desert Hot Springs High School, we bleed blue and gold. We hosted our first home varsity football game of this year's season, themed blue and gold. Students were able to get their face painted during lunch to spread the Eagle spirit. During the game, we have various food trucks for everyone to choose from. Students in the student section bring the energy and cheer, as well as our band and cheerleaders. Koya, our mascot you see there, spreads love and Golden Eagle pride at every game. Our football team continues to push through and stay motivated. Moving on to Athlete of the Month. Athlete of the Month is where we recognize 2 Golden Eagles for their amazing dedication in their sports. Nina Crawford was selected Athlete of the Month for flag football. Vanessa Siqueiros was selected Athlete of the Month for girls volleyball. These 2 Eagles show hardcore dedication to their sports. And our fall sports. Our fall sports are in session. We have football, cheer, girls golf, tennis, cross country, flag football, and girls volleyball that are all now active in the fall season. Moving on to the month of September, focusing on suicide prevention and Hispanic heritage. For suicide prevention awareness, spreading love and support around our campus, students were able to sign a banner during lunch to bring awareness to suicide prevention, and ribbons were also handed out to spread love. Every Golden Eagle on our campus has a purpose, and we are here to give them the support they need. Hispanic heritage. At Desert Hot Springs High School, we believe it's never too early to celebrate our heritage. United Student Body hosted a lunchtime activity on our outdoor stage, which included breaking a piñata, face paint, a performance from our cheer team, and sales from Club de Español. And attendance awareness. September is also Attendance Awareness Month, and student Joel Ruiz was highlighted on NBC Palm Springs as he spoke about the importance of attendance and the impact that it takes on a student. Lastly, I have upcoming events. We have our Hispanic Heritage Football Game, which I am inviting all of you to join us at, taking place on September 19th, starting at 7 p.m. Enjoy tons of different food from our vendors and celebrate Hispanic heritage with us. Club Rush. September 17th during lunch, all of our clubs at Desert Hot Springs High School will set up to give information and recruit new students to join their clubs. Classes from USB will also have their tables set up to get signups for homecoming float building. Our pet drive, September 8th through the 19th, we will be accepting donations in the front office for our local animal shelters. Dog clothes, pet food, newspapers, dog toys, and more are needed at our shelters. So please help out our furry friends in need and donate. Homecoming. In a galaxy far, far away, Desert Hot Springs High School presents Homecoming. October 18th from 7 to 11 p.m., our annual homecoming dance is themed Star Wars. Food trucks, lighting, dancing, and photo booths will be available for students at the dance. Whether you choose the dark side or the light side, it will be a night full of fun. Our homecoming parade, which I invite all of you guys to as well. I invite you all to awaken the force within you and join us for our first ever Homecoming City Parade on September 17th, starting at 2:45 p.m. Groups from surrounding schools and clubs will be participating, and most importantly, our class's Star Wars themed floats, which students have been working hard and tirelessly after school for 3 weeks to create the best floats for you all to see. Sit on the edge of your seats as our parade will bring you to the stars and back. Afterwards, join us for our homecoming football game and help cheer on our Golden Eagles. And that is my report for the month of August and September. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. And up next, we have Tracy from Palm Springs High School.
Hello, my name is Tracy Ted Enting, and I am the student board member representing Palm Springs High School. Before I begin my presentation tonight, I would like to begin with an opening statement regarding what occurred on September 4th. On Thursday, September 4th, around 10:30 in the morning, the front office received an anonymous threat through a call. Our school was then put into lockdown with great haste thanks to our staff and teachers. The Palm Springs Police Department immediately responded. The police swept the campus multiple times with great caution, ensuring the safety of our students, including myself, on campus. With this in mind, I would like to take this opportunity to show great gratitude and gratefulness for the immediate response from the Palm Springs Police Department, and as well as our staff who really helped facilitated a really fast lockdown. Thank you for everything that you do, and with that, I will begin my presentation. On the agenda today, we have our senior sunrise, the first day of school rally and club rush, attendance awareness and suicide prevention awareness, Hispanic Heritage Month, anti-hate speech pledges and information, and Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So, many of our senior parents, they donated food and drinks to our senior sunrise event. We started this school year off with a bang. It went great. Our senior sunrise was really fun. I was there, and we made a big photo op to take pictures in. On the first day of school, we also welcomed our students with performances from our Spirit of the Sands, our cheer team, our dance team, and our color guard. We had a short schedule that day to make way for our Bikers versus Surfers themed rally. The pictures I put on there are our performances of our cheer team and are also our first football game, which we won. Go Indians. We are currently 3-0, and we're expecting a great season. Our other sports, volleyball and tennis and water polo, they are all doing great as well, and we hope to facilitate our Palm Springs High School spirit. This month is also very important because it is Attendance Awareness Month and Suicide Prevention Month. Every staff member and student is valued and loved on our campus. It is our responsibility to ensure that this is communicated with everyone. Concurrently, we are participating in a Spirit Week that emphasizes being there and showing up for our students and each other. Some of the days on there we included this week are wearing yellow to show bright for your future, Twin Day to dress the same as your best friend, and some of the other days, which will happen as this week moves on. This month is also Hispanic Heritage Month, and our Spanish Honor Society Committee is always devoted to making this an amazing month. Tickets for our Hispanic Heritage Extravaganza Night are currently on sale. This is a joint cooperation between the Spanish Honor Society, Ballet Folklorico, our dance team, and this will take place on Friday, September 19th at the Richard Center for the Arts. Doors open at 6 p.m. and this begins at 6:30. I included some of the pictures from the amazing event, amazing pictures that they took. They perform really well, and I'd love to invite you guys to watch it. There's a QR code on there to buy the tickets. Like I said, they are $5. Palm Springs High School is rooted in our community of respect and understanding. That has been our principle from the moment I got here and long before that. Hate speech is strictly prohibited on our campus. We have made strong efforts to communicate this with our students through posters and in-class education. I included a picture there of one of the one of the presentations that went on in the class. I took time to review the pledge that our students signed, and I believe that it's a great cause. Finally, this month is also dedicated to Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. We've partnered with the Desi Strong Foundation to participate in the coin war competition. That picture is some of my friends holding the Desi Strong Foundation buckets that we can donate, and it is a coin war challenge, so it's a competition to raise as much money. We are also giving out golden ribbons to our classes as well. With that concludes my my presentation. If anyone has any questions, it's open.
Thank you. We move to item 14, presentation. Item 14A, Educational Service Program Update, OE 10.
Good evening. Mr. Mark Arnold, our Executive Director of Student Learning, will be providing our educational services update, and this is around academic progress. He will be presenting our STAR assessment data from Benchmark 1, the fall, as well as actions that we have in place to respond to the data. Mr. Arnold?
All right, thank you, Dr. Kovac. Good evening, everyone. So as Dr. Kovac said, tonight I'll be discussing our data from our recently completed beginning of the year or fall assessment window for STAR assessments. So I'm just going to start with a little bit of background information. So Renaissance STAR tests are PSUSD's diagnostic computer adaptive tests that are administered at least 3 times a year for benchmark monitoring purposes. So up there it says at least 3 times. So the district requires that everybody takes the assessment in the fall, the winter, and the spring. Some of our schools elect to take it more often than that so they can have more frequent progress monitoring, which we encourage that if they like to do that. The second bullet point just talks about STAR assessments measure performance on end of the year grade level standards. So that's an important point. So if I'm a 7th grade student and I'm taking that test right now, it is measuring what I should know at the very end of my 7th grade year, okay? And then these assessments generate a range of informative data points, including but not limited, so we can get our Lexile levels from this. We also have district benchmark results, which are norm reference comparisons of same grade level peers. So any student like in grade 7 that took the test at this time of year across the country, our students would then be compared. So if I took a test as a 7th grade student, my results would be compared to anybody else that took those assessments. And the last one is the state benchmark. So it is criterion reference correlating performance to specified cut points on the CASP. So this is the one that we're going to be talking about the most tonight. Again, it's kind of that indicator of how well students may be doing on the CASP assessment. So we're going to start with our reading results. So you can see here that at this point in time, we have 32.8% of our students are performing above, or they met or exceeded that expectation. We have 21.9 that are sitting at that nearly met, that level 2, and then 45.3 are at that not met, that level 1. So then we'll look at kind of how those results look across our different grade levels. So again, on the far left, you can see the all students results, and then you can see kind of how each of our grade levels performed. For the most part, most of our grade levels perform very close to the all students group, some a little lower, some a little higher, and you can see 11th grade was significantly higher on this reading assessment. This next slide will look at how our all students group is doing compared to all of our significant student groups. So you can see again our all students on the far left, and then you can see Hispanic and African American are pretty well aligned to that all students results. We have white and 2 or more races that are performing well above our all students. And then we have ELs and students with disabilities that are performing well below. So there's an achievement gap there, which we'll talk about some of the strategies that we're going to be doing to specifically focus on those groups of students. All right, so some of the things that we're doing for all students to ensure that we have reading improvement over the course of the school year. So we continue with our letters professional development, which we've been doing for the last few years. Our October 13th Professional Development Day will be focused entirely on reading instruction. We have reading intervention at all sites, so the district sponsors or supports a full-time teacher and 1 para to support reading intervention, and then a lot of our sites elect to hire additional paras to be put into that reading intervention program. As we talked about at the end of last year, the adoption and implementation of the new reading screener, and Ms. Whiteman will be coming to you with some of the results of that first implementation here in an upcoming board meeting. We have literacy coaches at 12 of our sites. So again, the literacy coaches are the ones that qualified through the state grant. The school must have an unduplicated population of 94% or higher. So that's why it's at 12 of our sites. Their focus is really on data-driven small group instruction, okay? In addition, we have our instructional coaches at all sites, and again, their focus is on improving Tier 1 instruction. We have our recently developed instructional agreements, which we discussed with you at the end of last school year. And then we do have our data release days for reading action plans, so we had the opportunity to pull teachers out like sub-teachers out so they can look at the data that they currently have and plan targeted and appropriate next steps to address to improve student achievement. At the secondary level, we have focused grade level professional development. We have our October 13th PD Day, which for most of our secondary teachers will be focused on visible learning, things like integrated ELD strategies and writing across the curriculum. We do have our reading intervention program at all of our middle school sites, and again, we have our recently developed instructional agreements. You should go. Yeah.
This is new for us this year, is the adoption and implementation of the new reading screener. How did it go? And not to ask about results, but how did that roll out the first time?
I mean, we're still in the process of it right now, so I think it's going fairly smoothly. I think there are some stumbling blocks there. I think it is, for sometimes it's taking teachers and students a little bit longer, but I think for the most part it's going pretty smoothly. We are looking at possibly purchasing some iPads. It's not an iPad, I'm trying to think what the name is, but some materials that will allow them to assess those students easier. But Dr. Kovac, you're looking ready.
Yeah, I was just going to add. So, we had to provide training for all of our teachers, and most of that took place August 20th during their 2-1-2 day before they actually began the assessment. So we have our teachers who were trained, our literacy coaches, instructional coaches to support at the school sites, as well as our paraprofessionals. And it's going pretty well. We have some preliminary data that we're excited to bring to you to show you how what the results are for our first benchmark, which we'll be doing that next month.
You bet. All right, as far as those student groups that we're showing a significant learning gap there, so what we're doing for them. So for the English learners, we are at the elementary level. We're implementing pre and post interim LPAC assessments to focus on the language development skills, again, so that we can clearly monitor the progress of those students. We have professional development with our grade level leads, where Ms. Hinchcliffe will pull the grade level leads from every site together. They'll be reviewing this beginning of the year data for both STAR and LPAC results, and then planning those targeted instruction. And then they'll take, the grade level leads will take that back to their grade level teams to really implement at their sites. Then in both secondary and elementary level, we're continuing to strengthen our integrated and designated ELD practices. At the secondary level, we have increased focus on at-risk of LTEL and LTEL students. So what are we doing? We have additional ELD courses that are being put into the schedule, and we have specifically a professional development for English teachers of those LTEL students. In addition, we're working on integrated ELD training with our social sciences teachers, focused on academic language and discourse. I think everybody probably remembers in social science, there's a good deal of reading involved in that. And actually on our CASP assessments, a lot of those excerpts for CASP are from social science and the sciences. So it kind of helps to prepare those kids there. For students with disabilities, we have professional development alignment across our general education and our special education teachers. So they're really, like, even on this upcoming professional development day, most of our special education teachers are right in there working with our general education teachers. We are ensuring general education teachers and special education teachers have time to co-plan their reading supports. And then we expanded our co-teaching and para-supported instruction in classrooms, really getting push in and getting teachers to be co-teaching and working as a team. I won't go through all those strategies, but you can see there's some additional strategies there as well that are being utilized.
Mark,
Go ahead. Yes.
I also have a question. I see all of these different groups on here that are along the lines of some of the lower levels. I don't see anything on here for our African American students. Is there anything that we plan on doing intentionally for our African American students?
Yeah. Well, I will say, I mean, part of the reason, I mean, if you kind of look back at the initial data, I mean, the African American students for reading were performing pretty much in alignment with our all students group.
Okay.
But
Can you put it back up there? So
yeah. Oops, went too far. Yeah. There we go. So you can see 22.1 and 10.7 for the all students. And we're still focusing on, I mean, obviously on the African American group. But I think with that, we have had some success in, I mean, there's still an achievement gap, but I think we've had success in seeing that African American student group beginning to move and make progress, both in in ELA, and in math. So again, some of those strategies that we're using, again, the UDL is a huge part of how we're going to really target our African American population. I think it's something that we need to think about. How a lot of it is about how are we engaging those students in the learning process. So that's part of it. And then, as we've talked about, we're doing the equity walks as well, where sites are really reflecting on what student groups are not performing, and then really working with a team of other principals as well as a facilitator from here from the district to really look at how can we change some instructional strategies really to address that population at a greater level.
Would you mind clarifying what is UDL? And I'm a teacher and I'm using UDL strategies. What strategies would differentiate for my students? What would that look like? So could you just kind of
Well, I do think, I mean,
that?
so as I said with the UDL, so there's various aspects of it. So engagement is one of those things. So I really think what we want the teachers to really be thinking about is really like, how can we ensure that all students are engaged? So reflect on your student population and what might allow them to be more interested in that lesson. I think that's part of that, is that we look at how we assess students as well, because I mean, right now, I mean, everybody like these assessments, but if it's not a reading test, if it's like we're looking at a social studies assignment and we want to know their knowledge, is there ways for them to express their knowledge or show their knowledge without having to read the assignment?
May I jump in also? I'm sorry, Mr. Arnold. Also, I'm going to go back to universal design for learning, and that really focuses on how the teacher's planning their lessons with their data in mind and the students in front of them, and looking at removing barriers. So it really goes back to how they're planning and designing their lessons.
And
And they
so,
need to know their students and the data, just as
yes. And so if it is improving, looking at this survey, it doesn't, the public wouldn't know that they're showing improvement. Is there, I mean, you know, like, what was the improvement if it was an improvement from last year? You know, it would help to see that. Even saying that it is moving, it's still in the bottom half. Combining it together with the next slide that you're going to show, they're still in the bottom tier constantly. So, even if they are somewhat aligned, they're still at the bottom. They're not at the top. And for me, if we're going to make special concessions that we're doing for other student groups, we should do the same as well. We should have something to where we're saying that we're paying attention to that, even if we are improving. And if we are improving, we should say that on there, that we are improving. They have moved from another group. It's alarming, and you know, it's been there for years. So, you know, if you are making an adjustment and you are improving, it's great to know.
Okay, definitely. And we can get that information to you on a Friday.
I have another question. Oh, do you want?
Yeah, I just have a question. Is this, I think you said it at the beginning, is this a test that where they should be at the end of the school year?
Correct.
yes.
Correct.
So they have time during the school year to catch up if we implement, like you said, interventions. I don't think we saw I don't know if we did, the pre and post from last year, if there was actually a significant growth with these particular groups. I mean, that would be a nice thing to share with the board. You know, at the beginning of last year in 2024, and then at the end of the school year in 2025, was there growth with what we were doing as interventions for these groups?
So more longitudinal.
Does that
data.
make
Yeah.
sense?
Uh-huh.
I mean, not even comparing last year's to this year's, it's like, was there growth last year over the school year with the interventions we were using?
Okay.
I don't know that.
And I would say not even just interventions, as Mr. Arnold has said, that best first instruction,
That's the best.
which is UDL before we need the interventions. And when we come back to you in February, what you'll see is a comparison from beginning of the year to middle of the year, that growth, and what we can do is also include from last year. So we can even see if we're making improvements year to year from fall to middle of the year with the data.
Okay,
So
thank
this
you.
is the first time we've gone over the STAR data with you folks. And Mr. River, and I think when I'm talking about some of this, the improvements, I'm actually kind of thinking more of the CASP, because we have seen some good improvements. Still, as you said, they're still lower than the overall population, but I think we've seen some nice improvements with that African American group. So,
I have a question, another question about integrated and designated ELD practices. Are people doing it in their classroom, or are we regrouping at school sites in elementary school?
at the elementary level for designated ELD time, we are reorganizing the students, and they're
Okay,
going to
so
different
we're
classrooms.
grouping them
Integrated,
according
obviously, is throughout the school day, and that's being in their regular
Right.
classrooms. I do think we've added 2 ELD courses, like I said, at the secondary level, 1 at 6th grade level and 1 at the 9th grade level. But really the focus there is on kids that have been LTEL or at risk of LTEL for such a long period of time, that we really want to provide them that really specific instruction to help move them.
I don't know. I have a question about the same slide. The English learner is around 30% of the student in the school district. In this bar, when it's separated, because majority of those students, or almost all, are Hispanic, is included in the Hispanic group, or is not included in this slide? For example, this 30% of the student is included also in the Hispanic group,
So the Hispanic group is factored into the all students group. Is that what you,
and the all student, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you not to separate, but if you separate the English learner resource and you leave the Hispanic group that is not English learner, it's possible to have that data too, or no? Because the 74, almost 80% of the English learner, it is including the Hispanic group in the total student population. Probably the Hispanic is not English learner is higher is 48.
So disaggregate that data a little bit more. So I think we can definitely look to get that to you on a Friday.
Take the overall Hispanic group, but remove the English language learners out of that group, and then see the data for Hispanic.
You know, I see that this English learning impact the total population resource, because it's almost 6,000 students, or almost 6,000.
Now see, that would be something interesting as well.
Yeah.
So there lies another situation. Students with disability, are those students African American? Are those students Hispanic? Are those students white? So I think if you're going to take the English learners and put them together with the Hispanics, or take them out separately, I think that you would also have to put out students with disabilities as well, because those could be African American and Hispanic students as well.
Okay, so we can look at disaggregating some of that more information and get that to you. Yep.
Going back to your targeted reading improvement, and I don't have a number, 7 out of 16. Students with disabilities, we're going to help expand co-teaching and use UDL, Universal Design for Learning, aligned resources like goal book and evidence-based practices. We hired a lot of new teachers this year, maybe 70 new teachers. Are teachers getting the UDL training like before they come in, or on the October day, or because this is interesting. If you speak to some new teachers, they'll say, no, I didn't get that, and even teachers that are veterans need refreshers, and I'm not sure if we're spending any time, and maybe you could just quickly say, are we spending time really in showing and teaching our teachers these strategies?
So for that new teacher development, that 4 or 5 days that we have prior to the school year starting, the UDL is integrated into what we're teaching with the math and the reading and the social science. So that it is purposely integrated into those trainings over the course of the school year. We do have additional PD opportunities that are optional for people to attend. So we have our TOSAs that are really supporting both at the elementary and the secondary level. And then, I mean, we also are working, we still have it working with the consultants. It's much more limited than what it was when we were doing a lot of the extensive training, but the consultants are going to school sites now and walking the sites with the principals, really looking at how UDL is currently being integrated, and then really helping them to support a plan to continue to develop that UDL integration.
It's good to hear that you're proactive, and I admire you all for the amazing number of professional development opportunities our teachers get and staff get. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so this is a report that we share with our principals. So basically, I'll just kind of walk through the different parts of this report, but you can see the upper chart is just showing the all student, the first column is showing the all student, this is third grade, the all student population and the number of students that were, or the percentage of students at each of the different levels. And then we also have that for EL distribution and for special education. Again, this would be obviously just for the site data. If I was a principal at Rio Vista, it'd just show me my Rio Vista information. The graph down below is very similar to very similar information to what we see above. But I think the interesting part here is it shows the range of performances of students in each of those levels. So I think, like, if you look at level 1, I think you see a large range for where kids are not too far off of that benchmark level, all the way down to kids that are really going to need a lot of additional supports in order to get to that benchmark. Okay. On the right-hand side, this is a list of all of the priority standards in reading, and this is for third grade. But again, this helps teachers to kind of focus their instruction. If you look at that first, just kind of give you a couple examples. So that first one, RI 3.1, right now we have 27% of our kids that are sitting at a secure range, 21 at a developing, and 52 at a beginning. So that's knowing that the start of the year and this is end of the year standards that we're trying to focus on, that's not a bad starting point for kids. So it might be, as I'm looking at my instruction as a teacher or as a grade level team, I might say I might not have to spend quite as much time on that. Versus if I go down to 3.6 and we have 75% of our kids at the beginning level and only 9% are secure level, that might be a standard that I really need to be thinking about. How am I going to intentionally ensure that kids are getting understanding? And that's, it's a difficult concept, distinguishing their own point of view from that of the author. So that's a difficult concept, but that's just a little bit of way that data can be used. All right, so you're going to see here, this is the results, the overall results for the math benchmark. Again, it's definitely lower than the reading, and there's one pretty big reason for that. The ELD or ELA standards, they are, don't pull a blank.
Spiral.
I pulled a blank on the word. They spiral, so the same basic concept is revisited and then further developed on a yearly basis. So we'll show an example of that in just a second, where the math standards are more linear. So new concepts are introduced at each grade level. So it's built on what they should understand, but we'll show some examples here as we go through it. But it's built on, it's a new concept that the kids have not necessarily learned about in the past. So let me show you just a couple examples. So again, if we go back, and I'm backtracking here, but that first one there, so it says ask and answer questions to demonstrate understanding of a text. That's something they would have seen in second grade. And then the new part in third grade is saying referring explicitly to the text as the basis for those answers. So driving them back into the text for explicit examples of where they're coming up with their answers. So that's kind of the step. So that's why a lot of times students are going to do better on the ELA assessments to begin with. If we go to the Math State benchmark results, you can see again the all students group and across our various grade levels. You can see where, again, quite a bit of similarity in the results to the all students. Here in math, our younger students, third and fourth grade, are performing higher than as they kind of progress through their grades. And you can see a difference from the 11th grade, which was our highest in reading, and now it's our lowest in the math instruction.
Can you speak to that at all? I mean, how do you go from being great at reading and go to being not so great in math, that wide of a spectrum?
Again, I think at 11th grade, you know, again, you're going to have IM1 as a 9th grader, IM2 as a, for the most part, IM2 as a 10th grader, and then they're going to have IM3. And a lot of this is based on kind of IM3 type assessments. So it is, again, it's kind of new material for those students that they haven't quite learned at this point. And I do think sometimes at the high school level, they don't take these tests quite as seriously as some of our younger kids do as well. So, okay. If we look at it by student group, so you can see the all students and you can see our Hispanic populations, is pretty much in alignment. There it goes. Here our African American population is scoring lower than what they, in comparison to how they were doing in the reading. Our white and our two or more races are exceeding the all students expectation, and again our ELs and our students with disabilities are definitely showing an achievement gap over the other groups. If we look at what we're doing for math improvement, so this is for all students, so we have our instructional coaches again at all sites improving Tier 1 instruction at the elementary level. We have our instructional agreements, and again we have our data release days where we can look at that data and really plan next steps to move forward with. This year we are bringing back high impact professional development specifically for our administrators at the elementary level. This is a consultant group that we worked with for 5 years, and then it's been 2 years since we've had any access to them at all. The focus will be on a strategy called Launch, Explore, Summary model, which provides individualized support based on formative assessments. Again, I think part of that was when we look at this, just a refresher for all of our administrators, but also there's been a lot of change in our administrators as well, and we want to make sure everybody, this is something we have put a large emphasis on, and we want to make sure that everybody's aware of the expectations with that. At the secondary level, we have our comprehensive scope and sequences developed, and they're further refined. So this is part of the work that we did with the Irvine Math Project. They really worked to develop scope and sequences. Some of it was prior to us having the new textbook adoption, just because at that time there was a lot of different resources being used, and we wanted to make sure we had clear alignment of what was happening at each and every school. And then when we brought in the new Reveal adoption last year, we really worked to refine those. And then over the course of the summer, we had some grant funding that helped us to kind of pull one teacher from every site for every grade level to work over the course of the summer over 4 weeks. And that was facilitated by the Irvine Math consultants, but really to work to refine those, make them kind of a one-stop shop so they have all the materials, all the links and all the lessons are clickable there and can be easily found. And as well, they have things like our UDL strategies. How do we ensure that academic discourse is happening between our students? So they give suggestions for all teachers to kind of have with that. We will be continuing with our Irvine Math Professional Development, which is focused on the effective implementation of procedural problem solving and conceptual lessons. So again, this is really working to get students actively involved in that lesson, not sitting very passively and listening to the teacher leading that instruction. In addition, this will be our first step into building thinking classrooms, which again is kind of along those same lines, really focusing on getting kids to be actively learning, focusing on 14 different principles that they have. We'll be doing that with both the middle school and high school teachers on that October 13th PD Day. We have our middle school and our high school math intervention as well. And then we have our data review again that will be incorporated. So we're really analyzing that data and planning next steps to move forward.
Just curious before you move on. So with the other slide for English, it looks like we had the groups that we specifically said we were going to work on to make changes. Are we not doing that for math?
Yeah, we haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it is there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for targeted math improvement, so again, we focused in on English learners and students with disabilities. focusing on integrated ELD, ensuring math teachers provide opportunities for students to use that academic language and provide scaffolds for comprehensible input and output. We're also looking at the assessment rubric so that expectations for speaking and writing are meeting proficiency level. Again, with the students with disabilities, our professional development alignment across all general education and special education. We have our expanded co-teaching and para-supported instruction, and we have the UDL, the ongoing progress monitoring, small group instruction, and scaffolds for problem-solving frameworks. But again, I would say, I think Mr. Irvin, just even talking with the African-American population, I think the professional development that we're actively engaged in right now is really moving teachers to really get the kids more actively involved in those lessons. And I think that's providing a big difference for a number of our student populations.
If that happens to be the case, I still would like to see our African-American students, I would like to see us as a district have our African-American plan put in place as well for our students. Like I said, we continue to be the last or the bottom tier of academia. And that's something that we need to look at. It's been the same way for years. It's been the same way since I've been a child in the district. We have to intentionally put that intention on those students. And it's unacceptable for me to not see it here represented, and we continue to be in the bottom tier. If we are moving the percentage up, it's not reflected right now currently. I know you're saying that it is available. We need to have our district to look at that. I think that is something that is definitely important, and we need to rally around that. Academics is something that we're saying is important here in our district, and our students are lagging behind, and our students are constantly failing.
So again, this is the report that we provide to the principals again. I won't go through the first two charts there. Again, if we look at the priority standards, or list of priority standards on the right, this is a good example again of how they're linear and new concepts are introduced at different grade levels. So if you look at this is the priority standards for third grade. And if you start like down with math 3, NF.1, that's really where they're getting into fractions. So this is the first times that kids have had been introduced to fractions. So again, we don't expect kids to know that at this point. By the end of the year, they should. So that's part of the reason you're seeing secure is very minimal number of students there. And at the beginning level, we have the vast majority of our students are sitting at that beginning level. So if we look through it, just kind of, as Dr. Kovacs kind of mentioned, we'll continue to bring back this data on February 10th. That'll be after our next benchmark window. We'll review the second benchmark results and really reflect on the growth that we're seeing. And then on June 9th, we'll come back with the third benchmark results and reflecting on the growth and then relating it to the 2026 CASP predictability. So I do have some notes from kind of some of the things that people were requesting, so we'll definitely work at getting that to you and provide that information to you on the Friday.
One last question.
You bet.
Your just professional opinion, like from your experience, you and anyone here, do you see that these kind of parallel how we did last year in the CASP, or standard MET a little bit better, not as good? What do you think? How do they match?
The correlation that we're shown as a district is very strong between our STAR results and our CASP results. So we'll show that when we'll come back to that on that when I think October 14th is the results board meeting, so we'll come back to that and kind of look at that. But the correlation is pretty strong. It's something we're really working with our teachers as well. I think because it's a little bit different assessment, I don't think we always get a lot of the intentionality that might go into the CASP doesn't always happen with the STAR. So I think we're really trying to show that there is strong correlation and really utilize this data. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Erlen.
Yeah.
We move to item 15, board member comments. Do we have any comments from the board?
Want me to start?
Yeah.
I'm happy to. I really want to say thank you to Sarah and Tracy for your excellent reports tonight. It was their very first time, and I think they really did a great job. Let's give them a big hand because they were, it was excellent. You both did an excellent job. And I just think that being a school board, a student board member this year, really will give you a great way not only to be involved with your school, but also with the district. So we're really pleased to have you. Also, congratulations to tonight's honorees that we had, and we really thank them for their service and support of our school district. I was able to present the State of Palm Springs Unified School District to Palm Springs Kiwanis Club members last night at the APAC meeting, which was really well attended. It was a great meeting. I want to thank both groups for their support to the district. And I'll also be presenting the State of the Palm Springs Unified School District to the Desert Hot Springs Rotary on Thursday. I love participating in the Foundation's shoe distribution. It's a wonderful event that really provides needed shoes to our school children, and it really is overwhelming to see them come and get a new pair of shoes. It's a great event. I'll also be attended the Foundation's Back to School Kickoff event at the Palm Springs Surf Club. I hadn't been there in years since I actually took my own children there many, many moons ago. So it was fun to see it and fun to see all of the activity that was going on. And I really want to thank the Foundation for their ongoing support to our students, families, and staff. I also plan to attend the All Valley Mayors, County, and Tribal Leaders Luncheon this Friday, and our district really appreciates all of these different groups and their support to our district. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So I as well, on August the 27th, I visit Palm Springs High School, and I went and visited their AP African American Studies class. It was really great. I can't think of the teacher's name now, but he did a wonderful job. The students were engaged inside of the classroom. They were discussing different topics, and I think they were talking about Mali, which is an African country in Africa. And before the students even get to civil rights and different things like that, they visit Africa, the continent, and talk about that. And so he was doing a really good job. It's unfortunate that we haven't had it to where it's still elective. I think that we'd get more participation if it wasn't an elective, where the students were able to get credit for it being an actual history course. We will circle back around to that. So I just want to let everyone know we're still working on it. And I just want to tell you the teacher's doing a wonderful job there. I think it should be maybe rolled out and expanded to other high schools. It's a great course that he's doing. Also on August the 28th, I, as well with Board Member Cornett, attended the Converse shoe giveaway with the Foundation. This year seemed to be one of the best years that I've seen so far. The line was wrapped out the door, around the corner, all the way to the other DO office. And so it was just great to see all of the families excited, being able to get shoes. And it's just something about the look that the children have on their faces. They're getting some shoes. And so maybe there was a good idea that Madonna mentioned as well about socks. Because sometimes you notice when you're taking the shoes off, the socks are sometimes holey. And, it's a possibility that maybe we can expand it and also give the children socks as well. So that was a great event. On August the 28th as well, I went to Raymond Cree's back to school event as well. Ms. Diaz and also Mr. Burney does a wonderful job there at Raymond Cree. It's very exciting. Their staff was there greeting everyone and welcoming everyone there. And they had booths set out with information for the parents as well. So that was great to see that at Raymond Cree. On August the 29th, I went to Palm Springs High School football game, Grand Terrace against Palm Springs High School. Palm Springs High School pulled out the victory 28-21. Grand Terrace is a really good program, and so Palm Springs is doing a really great job at 3-0. And normally in the most difficult part of the school year is right now with the non-conference games, and they're doing very well. So hopefully we can keep it up and continue. And so September the 2nd, I went to the State of the District as well with Board Member Cornett. She did a wonderful job bringing up information. She seems like a wealth of knowledge. She always has great little pieces of nuggets to add on to the presentation, and her experience and her being here in the in the district for such a long time. Yeah, I said a long time. So she has a lot of knowledge, and she did a really good job. Kiwanis Club, thank you guys for inviting us and having us come out. September the 8th, I also attended the Palm Springs High School meeting with the principal as well as the parents. It was probably roughly about 30 or 40 people that came out. Great to have the questions that were asked about the event. I think our board member spoke a little bit about it. And I just want to say congratulations and thank you to Palm Springs High School staff and the principal, as well as Palm Springs PD. They responded well. And, you know, we just have to take these kind of threats serious, and it's very important that we're prepared and we take this serious. We've had another situation in Palm Springs, the fertility clinic. So, you know, we have to make sure that we're ready and prepared. And I think that going forward, our security department and our plan that they have put in place, we will be on top of that and we'll do great things. September the 8th, I finally ended all of my moving around in the district. September the 8th, I went to the APAC meeting as well with the State of the District from the board member. If you can get an opportunity, I would really say to join these parent groups. They have such intuitive, just powerful questions that they ask the district. And if you feel like you would, you know, have questions and you're there and you don't get any of the information that feel like you're receiving, this is a great place. The other groups that we have as well is a great place for you to make your voice be heard and also have some of your concerns and issues be addressed with other parents who look like you. And that concludes my comments.
Thank you. Borrell.
Okay. First, I'm going to ask Tracy. Was that just a throw-in at the beginning of your idea of your presentation, something on the top of your head? But it was wonderful. But is that something you just thought about? And
No. So I had it planned beforehand. I wrote it before. Well, I had my presentation done the day. Coincidentally, I had it done Thursday, and then that whole event took place. So I felt like I was obligated to share about that. So I wrote a little paragraph about it, and you know, I brought it here.
well, I'm going to personally thank you. I'm proud that you took the time to talk about something that was on your mind and close to you. So just feel free to, both of you, know that we care about hearing that as well. We are looking at, back in August, I was able to attend a women's leadership Zoom meeting with our county supervisor, Karen Spiegel, and 187 women in politics are invited to this Zoom. And I think there were 11 of us. And I try to go every month because I think that establishing networks with women and politicians across the state and maybe country is really valuable, because then I can talk to them, ask them questions about some of the things that happen. So with that, I'm going to a women's conference coming up in Riverside, and I will get to meet them in person because I've never met some of the people on the Zoom. At the shoe distribution, what it is, a hoot, to see Ellen dressed in a shoe costume, because that's the first thing you see when you walk in the room. Kids just like sitting down with the biggest smiles, and then when you're putting the shoe on their foot, right, Board Member Irvin, the kids, like, they kind of give you a sigh, like they are just so comfortable in their own shoes. And so they are so excited that those belong to them. And so doing that is just an incredible experience. And for that reason, I want to thank the foundation, all of the staff, the Palm Springs Unified staff, all of the volunteers. I want to thank the generosity of the donors, including the City of Palm Springs, the Bighorn Golf Club Charities, the Greater Palm Springs Realtors, the Anderson Children's Foundation, Bloom in the Desert Ministries, Little Beverly Hills Neighborhood Organization, and the Ponscon Household Organization. Along with all of these people that came to help with those lines, it was just exciting for kids to get Vans shoes and Converse for the first time in their life. So, yeah. The ice cream too, yeah. So thank you again to all that were involved in the preparation and the pallets of shoes that were given out. Again, I had the chance to be on Zoom with a Riverside County Board of Education new board members group, and they are excited about getting together up in Sacramento in December at the CSBA Association Conference. On November, we're moving ahead. On September the 3rd, I was with Dr. Funchess and some of our people here in the district, and we were up in Desert Hot Springs at the City Council chambers. It was really good because I've never been in Desert Hot Springs in that one spot. And so I get to see where their government holds their meetings and actually understand maybe some of the setting that happens in DHS. And I have the biggest admiration for our cheerleader, our leader, our most enthusiastic superintendent who comes to a meeting and really engages, and we talk about UDL, engaging people, getting their attention, their eyes, activating their senses. And so hats off to Dr. Funchess along these last weeks. And the feedback from people, I don't even ask. They say, wow, this is just a good thing, great thing. So appreciation to you, sir, for all of the amazing interaction, engagement, and participation, and the communication. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire Gure. I would like to start my comments. I would like to express my appreciation to the Palm Springs Unified School District Foundation and to all supporters to make possible the program shoe distribution. Thank you. I will appreciate everyone. And also, in September 2nd, I was with in Kuwanis Club, the Palm Springs, and the state of the district, presented by board member Karen Cornett. I was together with board member Erwin and Claire Girel. Thank you, and I will, Kuwanis all the time, they have been our partner, to support the students from all age, and they had good ideas all the time. Also, they expressed or asked for more volunteer people, to be part of the Kuwanis club. I invite anyone interested to be there to be part of the Kuwanis. And also talking about the community meetings or inviting the parents in Desert Hot Spring. And I thank you and Dr. Fonsi for stay that late in very often, because we have that idea a long time ago to have meeting occurs in the school district facility, but also in community spaces. That is good, and we would like to continue with that idea. And we are almost in the time to celebrate the Hispanic Heritage Month, and that will be September 15 to October 15. And I know that the school district will be very busy in that period. And I want to end my report. Tomorrow we will continue tomorrow is the conversation with Salvation Army. Yes. And that is good, also organization that is interested to be partner and to work with the school district. And with that, I end my report. Thank you. Yeah, I will move to item 16, student board members' comments. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start. First, I'd like to show gratitude. Thank you all for helping us with leading us, because this is our first presentation. I really appreciate the help that you guys have given us, the support that you've given us. I really appreciate that. Regarding to events that I'd like to invite you guys to, as I said on my presentation, I did have that event, the Hispanic Heritage Extravaganza Night. I'd love for you guys to come to that. It's a great performance. Those they work hard. Those pictures on the presentation I had, those were really great. That goes to show just how great their performances are. As Mr. Irvin, as you said, our football team, we're doing really good right now. We are playing really great, and if you guys would like to come to those games too, you're more than welcome to. And finally, we do have our homecoming parade coming up soon. I don't have the specific date for it just yet, but I'd love to invite you guys to that as well. After that event, we have food from Las Casuelas as well that you guys can come to as well. And with that in mind, thank you so much.
I would like to add on to what Tracy said. I'm very grateful to be here and for all of your guys' support that you have given both of us. I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity and the ability to get closer to you all and be able to be a voice for my school and other schools in the district. On August 27th, I had a Zoom meeting with the superintendent as well as several other students from the school district. So I really want to say I appreciate you taking time to have a meeting with all of us students in the district to get our input on what we think you should do as a superintendent and listening to our stories from our schools. And then I also want to go back and invite you all to what I mentioned in my presentation, our Hispanic Heritage Month football game, which is September 18th, like going to what Mr. Sergio said, to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, especially since most of our schools here are very diverse and highly populated with Hispanics. So we believe that celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month is very, very important here at our school as well. And I would also like to invite you all once again to our homecoming parade as well, because this is my school's very first homecoming parade ever. So please show us all your support. It's on October 17th. So thank you all, and I invite you all.
Thank you, student members. Thank you. And I move to item 17, superintendent report.
Thank you, Board President Espiricueta. I just want to thank Sarah and Tracy. Excellent work tonight. Very proud of you all. You make us proud. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your excellence. Monica, if you can cue that up for me. I wanted to take a moment just to start by saying that we're all on this journey for academic excellence. And I want to commend our board for expecting to see performance data in board meetings. You should expect that. And I also want to commend our Ed Services team for being transparent and bringing that data and being transparent with it so that we can all begin to discuss where we are in relationship to where we need to go. And that's what makes a district excellent. So thank you for bringing the data, and thank you for expecting that. Much appreciated. Like I said, we're on this journey towards excellence, academic excellence, as we like to say. And that shoe drive by the foundation and our board and all of our staff, that was excellent. Almost brought a tear to my eye out there watching our families, and they were wrapped around the building, so thank you. I wanted to, next slide please, take a moment to commend the staff and the leaders at Palm Springs High School for a job well done the other day, and our scholars there on campus. But also wanted to point out Palm Springs Police Department and the work that they did quickly and responsively to bring calm to a very fluid situation. Excellent work by Chief Mills and the Palm Springs Police Department. Thank you for your leadership. Job well done. That's excellence. Next slide, please. I also want to thank our board and the Kiwanis Club for that partnership that we have with them, empowering our students to become effective leaders and more engaged citizens. And you see there, those of us that were able to make it that day, and Board Member Karen Cornett doing an excellent job giving the state of the district and a report there. And so we had an excellent time there and looking to pursue greater work with Kiwanis. Next slide, please. A shout out to Sarah Phelps in our Nutrition Services Department. This is fresh fruit and vegetable excellence right here. So our elementary scholars have access to having fresh fruits and vegetables at many of our elementary schools that does their mind and body good so that they can meet the academic demands and rigorous lessons that we require. So thank you to Nutrition Services, Sarah Phelps, and our young people taking advantage of those excellent meals there. Next slide, please. And then our back to school kickoff the other night. Once again, the foundation and those educators and staff members that were able to come out and enjoy one another. It was good to see a family-like atmosphere and our staff being able to kind of let down a little bit so that they can be best prepared to push our scholars towards excellence. And our last slide, as we prepare for Hispanic Heritage, I want to say this. It's very important that we acknowledge and celebrate the cultural contributions of our Hispanic Latino community. It is very important that we celebrate and acknowledge those contributions. And there's no over-celebration. America is a very diverse nation, and this community is very diverse, and I look forward to those celebrations, to the events that we will have to honor our Hispanic Latino community. So I look forward to that, and I'll be at most of those events that I can get to. And then finally, last slide. I thought I said that was the last slide, but this is actually the last slide. Our community survey that's still out there. Please, parents, make sure that you're able to give me some feedback. And as we reach towards excellence, I wanted to highlight one event coming up, and that is our Regional College Fair on September 18th, 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m., Agua Caliente Resort. Over 100 colleges and universities will be there. Military representatives, trade, schools, and financial assistance is available. Thank you very much. Let's continue this journey towards excellence. I appreciate you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Francis. I move to item 18, board action items. 18A, approval of the unaudited actuals for fiscal year 2024-2025 OE 6. Mr. Simmons. Okay. Can I get a motion to approve item 18A, please?
Second.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, just a real quick presentation on how we ended the 24-25 school year, which is known as our unaudited actuals. The next step will just go through the audit, but all of the data should be very accurate. Thanks to Tony Carrillo, the Director of Fiscal Services, and his entire team from purchasing and payroll staff as well. I'd like to thank those people because closing out our books is no easy task with the millions and millions of dollars that we have and thousands of vendors, if you will, to try to collect all the money that we need to collect from those vendors and also pay those vendors. So, and then I'd like to thank all the departments in business, ed services, and HR, because really everybody participates in the budget system, and this is the kind of the last step in that fiscal time frame. So let's see next. Oops. Oh, just use this one. Is this on? Let's try this. Turn something? Anyone? Is that on? Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, so there'll be about 3 different ways that I've kind of displayed the, how we're spending our money. This is the first way in kind of this circle graph format. This really doesn't change from year to year on the unrestricted side. It's usually anywhere from 85 to about 89% on personnel, a good portion on services, very little on supplies and capital outlay. You're going to see a little bit more of that on the restricted side, where personnel is really just with mainly special ed and maintenance and operations. And then you have some capital outlay, services and supplies are a little bit bigger percentages on that side. So if you're going to combine those two graphs, that's what this looks like, the combined general fund, which we call the 03, which is unrestricted, and 06, which is restricted. So when you combine those two, it looks more like this. But still, the majority is on our personnel. So I really want to spend a couple minutes on this particular slide because the theme of this evening for the unaudited actuals is we haven't deficit spent since 21-22, and we did deficit spend a little bit this year. But the reality is if you look at that green cloud compared to that blue cloud, that's the revenue difference between last year, the 23-24 year and a 24-25 year. You can see that's almost about $12 million difference in revenue, which means we received $12 million less last year, and our expenses from that it should have been at that starting point, 311, 710, that's above that, and continued to go up, which it did, but it went up in proportion with the revenue that we had. So the stabilization, basically to make the long story short, is the stabilization plan is working. We deficit spent for sure, but it was 2.7 million. When had a loss of about 12 million, it could have been much worse, right? So we really ended this year much better than we expected. We're hoping to do that again in 25-26 as basically a credit to our stabilization plan. As you can see, back in 21-22, that deficit was about 5.8 million. As we went on into 22-23, at the end of that year is when I came on, we had a one-time grant called the in-person learning grant that was about to expire. We cost shifted general fund expenses into that grant in order for us to be able to get the benefit of that. So that's where you see that $10 million difference between expenditures and revenue that year that helped us put that into fund balance. And I'll go over the fund balance percentages in just a minute. And then we did the same thing in 23-24, where ESSER funds were ending as well. So we decided, knowing that 24-25 and 25-26 were going to be less revenue years than the prior year, that we decided to increase our fund balances both those years using those one-time expenditures that were going to expire to our advantage and preparing for these 2 years, as well as our stabilization plan. And as you can see, it actually turned out very well. Now, next year, the difference between the expenditures and revenue, we'll do a multi-year projection based on our new numbers here, but this was based on budget numbers, and the multi-year projection will come up at first interim for the 25-26 year. We don't do a multi-year projection for this one. We just do, kind of explain how it ends. So does that make sense where we kind of ended? Basically, the theme is we did deficit spend, but we ended better than we should have. A lot of that was because of the stabilization plan. Like I said, I explained the cost shifting that we did for the one-time grants. The split funding is we continue to use ELOP funding for our evening custodians who do have to clean those ELOP classrooms and restrooms and all that. And we also use it for a percentage of our assistant principals who support that after-school program as well. So that's how we're saving the general fund a little bit of money using the ELOP funds. And then as I explained, we've kind of increased our fund balance through this process of using our one-time grants and continuing to use our stabilization plan here. And then also savings throughout the time frame. We're saving on services. We're analyzing those services each time a new contract comes up, as well as staffing. Every time a new position comes up, a vacant position, we analyze that through cabinet and make sure it's a position that we really need. So this is how we, another kind of graphic as to how we ended the year as far as our unrestricted fund balance and our restricted fund balance. So this is the combined. So in reserves, we have our 3% reserve, which for right now it's a percentage of what we spend. So it's 13.9 million there. The commitments is what the board has set aside, which is that 27.7 million. And then assignments, 30.9 million. That's on the unrestricted side. And the non-restricted side is 98 million. So that's the total fund balance that we ended with. And this is just a different way of looking at it as well. On the unrestricted side, it's kind of a table graph that you can see you can truly see those differences between 23 and 24 and 24 25, the revenues in particular, and then how everything shaped out as far as that ending fund balance line. It's kind of that different shade of color. So again, we had the deficit, but it could have been, considering the difference in revenue, this was a great year. And then this is the other funds. When you talk about the restricted fund, that ended just a little bit below where we ended in 23-24. Adult education, we are starting to spend more on adult education than what we are earning. So that is beginning to encroach on the general fund. We're going to be looking at the services and analyzing that and see where we go from here. Child development there, they ended up with a little bit more revenue than they expected, which made that a little bit higher than the prior year. Cafeteria ended up pretty much even with what they had. They do need to, they have a spending plan to spend that down. The state doesn't like them to be that high there, but they do have a lot of equipment and a lot of needs that they're preparing for to spend that down. And then in Fund 17, which is our other sort of general fund backup, that we didn't spend anything out of this. It did earn interest. So the reality is this earned almost $2 million in interest, which really makes up for that $2.9 million deficit as well, because that's still part of the general fund. And we consider Fund 17 when we look at the percentages of ending fund balance as compared to the rest of the state. And I'll go over that in just a second. Some of the ones that, the building fund, that's our bonds. Capital facilities, that's our developer fees. Both of those should be going down because we have a lot of projects going on right now, and they are going down. So we are spending our money there. And Fund 40 is also a capital outlay projects fund, but that one is holding stable and even increasing based on interest and money there for deferred maintenance. But the reason why is that's the least restricted money. You want to spend those other dollars first, the bond funds and the developer fees first before you get into the capital outlay project fund. So, and then you have the self-insurance fund there. We didn't use some of the contracted services we did from the year prior, so that ended up being a little bit higher as well. Now, that said, our fund balances, when you add up the Fund 17 and the Fund 03, the unrestricted fund balance percentage for the district is 22.1%. But the average for the state is a bit higher than that. For a unified school district, it's 24.36%. And for districts over 10,000 students, it's 24.29%. So we're still below the state average in fund balance. So we're really holding steady right there. And as I said, we are in good shape, and we're holding right there with the rest of the districts around the state. Okay, now for Cielo Vista. We had to close their books as well, of course. As you can see, they earned a little bit less revenue this year than they did before, and that's partly because of expiring grants and some of the revenues that went down. But they did have more expenditures, so they did dip into their fund balance this year by a couple $1 million. So we're going to keep an eye on that, but really the main reason why they dipped in, they had a lot of construction projects themselves, and some of that they took on through their general fund. So, we consider that to be one-time expenditures. It's not an ongoing expenditure, so we feel they're pretty safe here, but we are going to keep an eye on their ongoing expenditures. So finally here, we have Capital Advisors as one of our consultants that works for us and actually is our voice at the state level and at the federal level. And some of the things that they've said to look out for is California tax revenue. This is actually a positive thing. 12 of the last 14 months tax revenue has come in higher than projected. But they are concerned about the 3 T's at the state level, the tariffs, the trade, and the tourism. And apparently tourism is a little bit down, and then there's still obviously questions over tariffs and trade. Locally, though, the biggest thing for us is that declining enrollment still. We looked at this year, we estimated about 262 students down. And as of the 5th, I believe, we were an additional 136 students. Now, a week or so ago, that was at 147, and before that it was like 175. So we're getting closer to that projection rate, and it's getting, that declining enrollment is getting smaller and smaller, which is a positive thing. Another positive thing out of this is the TK group is about 100 students more than it was the prior year. So the future outlook, because of TK, and then K is slightly larger. The rest of the grade levels, except for 7th grade, were down, but TK and K we're up, and that's a positive thing for our district as we move forward into the future. So, any questions on this? That concludes my presentation. So, like I said, just a quick update on what you're seeing on the unaudited actuals.
Jeff, you don't have anything on the unemployment rate and the different things?
No, that's that comes in with the governor's budget and the May revise.
All right.
So that's in January and May.
All right. Good job.
This is
Jeff.
just how we ended. In fact, there's no projections for the future on this presentation. So, right?
Thank you. Good
Thank
job.
you.
Thank you to you and Tony and the whole department.
Thank you, Jeff.
Well done. Thank you.
Okay, no more questions. Are you ready to vote? Please vote. All in favor? Aye. Motion passed. We move to item 18B, adoption of resolution number 2025/2026-07, adoption of appropriations due to the reconciliation of the estimated actuals to the unaudited actuals ending fund balances for fiscal year 2024-2025, OE6. Can I get a motion to approve item 18B?
Move for approval.
Question? Please vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Item 15C, adoption of resolution number 2025/2026-08, adoption as Gantt limit OE6. Can I get a motion to approve 18C?
Move for approval.
Second.
Any question? Please vote. All in favor? Aye. Motion passed. Item 16D, adoption of resolution number 2025/2026-09, approval of increase to board members' compensation pursuant to board bylaw 9250. Can I get a motion to approve item 18D?
Move for approval.
Second.
Any question? Please vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. And item 18E, adoption of resolution number 2025/2026-10, board member absent from board meeting due to hardship. Can I get a motion to approve item 18E?
Move for approval.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Please vote. All-
Aye.
Okay, 3 ayes and 1 abstain. Item 18F, adoption of resolution number 2025/2026-11, approval of public textbooks and instructional material and instructional material compliant for the fiscal year 2025-2026, OE 10. Can I get a motion to approve 18F?
Move for approval.
Any question? Please vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Item 18G, approval of certificated and classified employees salary schedule, OE 5. Can I get a motion to approve item 15G?
Move for approval.
Get a second.
Second.
Any question? Please vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Certificated and classified employee transaction, OE 4.4. Can I get a motion to approve item 18H?
Move for approval.
Second.
Any question? Please vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Board action item from 18I to 18L. The board is considering approval of 4 separate amendments to the employment agreement with Dr. Marcos Funches, Dr. Simon Kovac, and Mr. Jeffrey Simmons, and Mr. Clayton Hill. Prior to taking final action, Government Code Section 54953 required an oral summary of the recommendation for approval on the salaries, salary schedule, or compensation paid in the form and fringe benefit at a local agency executive during open session at a regular meeting in which the final action is to be taken. Accordingly, I'm providing an oral summary of the relevant terms in each of the 4 amendments being considered by the board today. As for the amendment to Dr. Kovacs, Mr. Simmons, and Mr. Hill's employment agreement will receive a 1.5% salary schedule increase to their current salaries, effective July 1st, 2025. In addition, each will receive a 1.3% increase to health and welfare benefit. The salary and health and welfare increases are the same as those being provided to certificated and classified unit members and other management employees. As for the amendment to Dr. Funch's employment agreement, the superintendent has declined the 1.5 salary schedule increase. He will receive a 1.3% increase to health and welfare benefit, which is the same increase being provided to certificated and classified unit members and other management employees. I will start with item 18I, approval of first amendment to the employment agreement for the superintendent of the school, OE4. Can I get a motion to approve 18I?
Move for approval.
Second.
Any questions? Please vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Item 18J, approval of second amendment to the employment agreement with the assistant superintendent of educational service, OE4. Can I get a motion to approve item 18J?
Move for approval.
Second.
Any questions? Please vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Item 15K, approval of second amendment to the employment agreement with the assistant superintendent as business services, OE4. Can I get a motion to approve 18K, please?
Move for approval.
Any questions? Please vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I
Motion-
think you need a second.
Oh,
Oh.
second?
Second.
Oh, thank you, Shirley. Okay, vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Item 18L, approval of second amendment to the employment agreement with the assistant superintendent at Human Resources, OE4. Can I get a motion to approve 18L, please?
Move for approval.
Second.
Any questions? Please vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Item 18M, approval of proclamation of National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, September 2025, OE11. Board clerks, please.
Thank you, board members, student board members, and superintendent, and everyone that's talked about this very important focus of the month of September, National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. whereas the month of September, when millions of people around the world join their voices to share a message of hope and healing, and whereas these observances are united in raising awareness that prevention is possible, treatment is effective, and people do recover, and whereas in these challenging times, messages of hope and healing are more needed than ever, and whereas Riverside County residents should be able to access high-quality prevention, support, rehabilitation, and treatment services that lead to recovery and a healthy lifestyle. And whereas everyday people enter treatment into behavioral health services and community supports and begin the road to wellness and recovery. And whereas resiliency begins early in life with families, daycares, and schools, and can be strengthened and reinforced throughout the lifespan. And whereas recovery and wellness encompass the whole individual, including mind, body, and spirit, and community. Whereas striving for zero, California's strategic plan for suicide prevention urges all Californians to play a role in suicide prevention and promoting health and wellness. And whereas the benefits of preventing and overcoming mental health challenges, suicide attempts and loss, and substance abuse are significant and valuable to individuals, families, our community at large. Whereas it is essential that we educate residents about suicide, mental health, and substance abuse problems and the ways they affect all people in the community. And whereas we must encourage relatives, friends, co-workers, and providers to recognize signs of a problem and guide those in need to appropriate services and support. Whereas Suicide Awareness Month inspires millions of Americans to raise awareness, build resiliency, and find hope. Now, therefore, be it resolved on September 9th, this day, the Governing Board of Palm Springs Unified School District proclaims the month of September as Suicide Awareness Month, passed and adopted by Governing Board of Palm Springs Unified District this 9th of September 2025. And Superintendent Funches, Secretary to the Governing Board of Palm Springs Unified School District, Riverside County, State of California, hereby certifies the foregoing proclamation and was duly approved and adopted by this governing board at this regular meeting held on September 9th, 2025.
Thank you, Claire. Jurel. Can I get a motion to approve item 18M?
Move for approval?
Second.
Any question or comment? Please vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Item 18N, approval of expanded learning program plans 2025-2026, OE 10. Can I get a motion to approve item 18N?
Move for approval?
Second.
Are there any questions or discussion?
Um,
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say a few words about this amazing handout that we have about what's planned for the next year for our students. If we look back towards Mr. Arnold's presentation and our education services, and more than ever in our STAR testing results, we need this program to reinforce academic excellence and continue to, as I read the state website, to enhance education and reinforce expanded learning, which is before school, after school, intersession, and focus on developing the academic, social, emotional, and physical and interests of students. From the state website, I read that this grant is really important, that we're focusing on enrichment and education and not entertainment. And so I look forward to seeing the new funding that's coming towards giving our students multiple different experiences for that educational expansion. So that's what I think I wanted to say.
No more questions?
Comments?
Very good. Ready to vote? Please vote or in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion pass. Thank you. Item 18O, approval of compromise and release agreement number 2526-4 between parent and district dated August 22, 2025, OE 6.1. Can I get a motion to approve item 15O?
Move for approval.
Second.
Any question? Please vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Motion.
Abstain.
4 ayes and 2 abstain? Okay. Thank you. Item 18P, approval of readmission at expulsion case 2023/2024-039 to Palm Springs Unified School District, OE 11. Can I get a motion to approve item 18P?
Move for approval.
Second.
Any question? Please vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 19, superintendent consent items. In this one, we vote for multiple items in one vote. Superintendent consent item 19A to 19F. Would anyone like to put any item for discussion or review? No? Can I get a motion to approve superintendent consent item from 19A to 19F?
Second.
Any question? Please vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. I would like to also to read about the consent item and, oh no, sorry. I'm going to information item. Item 20. Item 20A to 20T. Before, I would like to highlight some information about this. The items submitted under information are not action items and will be approved at a future board meeting. The board has received and reviewed this information. Item 21, suggestion for future agenda. Do any member have suggestion for future agenda?
I just want to say I, in the comments, talked about the African American AP studies. Where are we there, and do we have any type of update, or do we have an update planned for the future?
We do have plans to convene a committee to continue looking at that alignment as requested by the board, and we can put that again in the Friday. But we also have 2 other classes at our high schools, as we noted. And, you know, when I was at the literacy event hosted by Mrs. Hinchliff's EL programs and the Family Community Engagement Center, I also spoke with the student who's participating in the class, and they really find it beneficial and are really enjoying it. And hopefully that their word of mouth will also increase the enrollment. But just also reiterating that we're working on that plan. We'll continue to keep the board apprised of our plans to move forward with the state requirements, as you were asking, or grad requirements.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a request, and I'm not sure if Dr. Funches has seen pictures of past homecoming parades. It's a tradition, Dr. Funches, to attend the parade, and we get a board golf cart, and the superintendent drives the golf cart. So I don't know if you know that, but here we are. But you can think about it. And this year is a new blossoming parade in DHS. So I'm especially going to ask that we have a golf cart for that parade on October 17th and Desert Hot Springs. I remember meeting with the mayor on that. And this is going to come true. We also ride in Palm Springs, of course. And then we also go to Cathedral City and go and they arrange vehicles for us. So I would like to request if Dr. Funches would think about helping us out at the parades again.
Of course.
Yeah, we also asked for snacks and water as well. So.
All right. Yeah. Of course. Monica will take care of that.
Yeah.
But maybe instead of a golf cart, I can have a convertible, something like that. Sarah, what do you think? Convertible?
Convertible.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do that. In all seriousness, we'll make sure that we have those accommodations. And I look forward to it.
Okay. Yeah,
And also, do we have our, can you make sure we have our bullhorn too? I'd like to speak in the parade.
Not a problem.
Karen, you want?
Yeah, are we at debrief yet? Is that where we're at?
No,
Oh.
you want me to move? Let me move the.
Whatever.
Yeah,
just have
I
something
will
to
move
say.
to item 22, regular board meeting. Our regular board meeting will be held on September 23, 2025 at 6 p.m. Item 23, debrief.
Oh, okay, thank you. I just wanted to say something about our ELOP program. It really is a wonderful program that we have in our district for our elementary students, and to expand learning opportunities for them is unbelievable. Also, just that they're working with ACES to provide early morning activities for kids that have to come really early or before the 8:30 starting time for middle school. So I really appreciate that, and I know that our parents do too. So I really hope that the state keeps funding it because I think it is an absolutely fabulous opportunity for students in our district. And I thank you, Amber, for really making sure that our kids get a wide variety of learning opportunities.
Student board member, how has been your experience tonight?
What, can you repeat that, please?
How has been your experience in the first day of student board member?
It was great. Yeah, it was great. I combated my nervousness. I feel a lot better about it. So, yeah.
I think it's amazing, and I'm really glad we get to speak on these topics and other topics in the future as well.
Okay, thank you. And last, I move to item 24, adjournment. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion